Shit.
All right, guys, you know the drill. This is Roundtable number 5. It is 8:01. You all will have until 9:01 or until y'all stop talking. Have fun.
Okay, well, I guess I'll start it out. Um, why? I do have some questions while we start. First, I want to start out with why was that whole like Blake thing on the call misrepresented this morning, Ty? What was up with that? Because I feel like you threw me and Evan under the bus and pretty much said it was just us. When that was not what was what happened. There were multiple people on that call to witness. Um, yes, Evan woke it up, and I did cooperate with Evan. But
What
Jake
what do
was
you
mentioned the blind side too.
okay, what do you feel was misrepresented?
I felt like Jaywin was not a part of that at all. And I definitely feel like, yeah, I did say that because I have sus V before. V has been on my sus list multiple times. Um,
Well,
I
what
I
what
get
did what did I misrepresent
all
then?
right. Well, let's pull it up.
You don't remember what I misrepresented?
You misrepresented the fact that you said that you misrepresented everybody's part to play in it.
Everyone's part?
Jay wins.
What was her part in it? What part do you believe she had in that conversation?
She mentioned the blind side even. She was one who said, yeah, V wanted to blindside you. That was never mentioned.
What I said Jaywin. You're saying I said Jaywin wanted V to blindside?
No. No.
I'm not following what I misrepresented.
I'm saying that yes, it was woken up. Evan mentioned it. I said yes.
Mhm.
Jaywin popped in and said there was a blind side. I like did say I was sus of E. All of that happened, but I feel like it was painted out to make me and Evan look bad in some form or fashion and take take out
I
what everybody was saying about it. It wasn't just like a
I I understand like you think it was trying to make you look bad, but from my perspective, as I was sitting on the call, it looked like you guys were sitting on some information that wasn't discussed until Blake came into the call and started bringing up V. Blake was talking about being sus of V, and then that's when you guys decided to bring up this conversation that V was pushing.
it's
Uh,
because you asked Blake who had sus on him, actually.
okay, I asked a lot of people who has sus on them, but the fact is, this conversation didn't get brought up until Blake started talking about V. From my perspective, it looked like you guys were blowing up V's game in front of Blake because Blake was already voicing suspicion on V.
And like as I said before, this whole plan, it wasn't even necessarily made to vote Blake. It
No.
was to have a blindside at the round table to see how everyone reacts that's not a part of the plan, including Blake. Because if Blake's a traitor, he would be shocked as fuck that, his name is supposedly the main one, and the way he handles it gives us information. And same thing for how Brian would have reacted, how you would have reacted, how Ty would have reacted, how Ali would have reacted, how Connor would have reacted. It would have given us information, and it really sucks that that was brought up because now we don't have that kind of information. And we have always been open about everything since day one, and it hasn't worked for us. So we need to find some sort of other way of finding information and catching these traders because this is our do or die moment. If we don't do it tonight, we're
Um,
effectively fucked.
I oh,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know why it needs
I-
to be a blindside though, because like we can still bring it up to Blake and get the reaction in the moment. It's not like, and it gives us more time to evaluate it. In my opinion, that was just why does it have to be at the round table? Why wait? Is my thought.
That's what I'm confused about as well, because you actually brought up the idea of blindsiding me specifically. So now you're acting like it's like, oh, we could blindside anybody. What you said was that you wanted to blindside me.
Yes, because I was also very sure that you were a traitor in that moment. And I still am very suspicious of you because of the points I gave. You have too clean of a game, and then you have your personality, you have your way of playing, but it is nearly impossible that someone has not been sus at Final 9. And at that point, we still need to look that way. And it really only got to me in my head to that point after my conversation with Cammy.
Blake
I had
has
a call
had
with
sus. Blake has had sus because I know I sussed
because of
Blake at one
me.
point. No,
But I've really been
sussed
the only
Blake,
one
like,
bringing it
round
up
2,
publicly, I feel like.
and then or round 3 maybe. But like
Also,
Blake has had sus. I just don't see the vision now.
Can I
It
just
doesn't make
ask?
sense. Yes.
Can I just ask, what am I supposed to do? Why do you expect me to go to everybody and be like, oh, will you please put some sus on me so I can look suspicious and then get banished?
Well, obviously no.
Does that make sense? Because that to me seems like more of a distraction than anything when we're already down bad right now.
I mean,
so I just don't see the logic from your side.
I'll let Ty and Evan talk for a second because they have put their hands up. I think Ty had it first.
I mean, just to go off what Blake just said, there is a benefit to having some sus on you, and if you're working with someone you trust, to put enough sus on you so you're not murdered, I think there is a benefit in that. And maybe you don't play that way, but like I have seen other people play that way. I have played like that myself. I'm not saying we expect you to do that, but I do see V's point that you're playing a very clean game. But to go back to what Cammy was saying about that night, that conversation we had, there was more to that conversation too, that it wasn't just the V Blake thing that started making me look at Cammy side-eyed. And I wasn't trying to like make you guys look bad. This is like literally just what I noticed is Evan started talking about being sus like the last couple of rounds. I was like, I don't remember anyone being sus of you last round, Evan. Like that just started happening this round. And then Cammy, you piped up and said, I have put sus on Evan. You guys started talking some more. I let you guys finish, and I said, Cammy, can you tell me what you were sus of Evan for? Because I literally don't remember you ever bringing Evan up, because most of the day I was arguing with Hutch. But you did say, and this is what really like started raising the red flag, and I think this might have been before the V and Blake conversation, but you said you had to go back and look. In my mind, if you're throwing sus on people, you should be able to recall that sus, especially if it happened like the round before. And for you to say, oh, I don't know, let me go back and look what I said.
I didn't immediately say that. I did say my reasonings, and then you were like, so you don't know, so you don't know. So that's why I said, let's go back. I did read the message verbatim, but it was the exact same thing that I was telling you in that call.
Why would I say so you don't know? It's because when I asked you, you literally like, oh, I don't remember. You're like acting like you don't remember what exactly your sus of Evan was, but that you knew you put sus on him. And it's just weird that you wouldn't know the exact reason why you were sus of him and not able to recall that and had to go look it up.
Well, to be quite frank with you, I did explain it like how I saw it. I felt like you weren't thinking that was good enough. I'm sorry, I'm not taking notes. I'm not like following everything. Like, I'm not doing that. And I do smoke a whole lot of weed. So, like, give me a second to wake it up. Like, and I did say, like, bing, bing, bing. Maybe there were two things that I said in the message after I read it verbatim that I did not ding on.
Mm-hmm. I think that partnered with the V Blake thing, and it seems like because I had just gone through a similar situation with Hutch, and I don't think Blake is a traitor, and I don't think V is a traitor. It was painting this scenario that maybe it was kind of a setup to get Blake and V going against each other here.
No,
And because of the you having to recall your stuff on Evan, the V and Blake thing, I was like, you know what? Let me go look at the first roundtable because I wasn't able to be there. And like it does, this is going back to my original reasons or why I look for traitors at the beginning is the people who are sitting there being quiet and not saying anything. And it appears to me that you and Evan don't really say anything the whole first roundtable, and
I don't
everyone
know
else is
anybody, girl.
talking.
I don't know anybody, Diva. I am like, I
Okay.
have found my voice throughout this game, yes, but that is just me as a person. Evan, I'll give you the floor.
Okay. I've said it multiple times, Ty, and I mean I'll say it for everyone. And I gave my explanation. I feel like I've told everyone at this point. The reason why I wasn't so vocal at that first roundtable is because I was in that unsafe group. Quite frankly, I didn't want to be someone to speak up. A lot of you guys have acknowledged it, and like, hey, that's a pretty valid reason. So I just feel like that in itself explains my actions and behaviors. Y'all know I'm loud as fuck and will say whatever I want, but then that specific moment where I had no protection of being murdered, I didn't want to be that loud person talking. I didn't want to be the next person chipped off, so that's why I did not speak up. And to go off of that, the next roundtable time, I realized I was actually at work listening, so I didn't actually talk until I actually had a question. But I was at work the whole time, and I remember specifically, I'm like, "Hey, I'm at work, but I need to say something. I gotta go." But I after that I spoke up. But yeah, I was at work literally. So to go off of kind of like the whole thing about me and Cammy, Ty, I think it was more so the fact that like I was the one to initially say something and bring it up. And then Cammy said something, and then Jaywin said something. I feel like it was like a trickle down effect. So if anything, I feel like I should be taking the heat of it, not me and Cammy. If it was just me and Cammy, I think all three of us then should be taking it. It just was weird to me that it was just me and Cammy specifically, because at one point all of us did then finally mention something. I was the one that initiated it. I
Can
will
I
take
can I
of that.
respond to that?
Yeah, go for it.
I think because Cammy was backing you up about the conversation, and then Jaywin confirmed after that, then Cammy was backing you up about having suspicion on you. That, and then I went back and looked at the first roundtable, like, and saw how quiet you both were. And
So you're
Jaywin
just
is,
tunneling on us too. Okay.
I kind of am, but also Jaywin was speaking the entire first roundtable. She was keeping people on track. She was reading receipts with her one eye patch on. Like she was helping people get to conclusions.
But then you also
Seemingly,
joked that Jaywin's notes weren't enough for you, and then Jaywin started taking the game more seriously. So it's just
okay,
confusing.
that's, and like you said, that's a joke.
How am I supposed to know what's a joke and what's not? That's the thing. And I feel like it's like different for different circumstances, but then for other circumstances, it's like, well, it was
Okay,
a joke.
well, sure. I don't know what to say to that if you don't
Okay.
understand when I'm joking or not. But going back, it seems like suddenly Cammy is backing you up, and I haven't noticed that behavior before. So when I was like, okay, let me tunnel vision on these two and see if they've been behaving weirdly in the past, I did have to say I think it is odd that you both are not very vocal at the roundtables.
I get that, and I can see that. And I'll touch on that for a second. This is my first Traders game. I know nobody here. I was also unsafe. Like I am not trying to drum up a whole hoo rah rah on my first day and come in here. Like that is not where I'm coming from. Like I said, I am willing to take the heat, and I am willing to like say how I feel and what the fuck is up. So for this whole V Blake debacle bullshit, V tried to rope me in, asked for a call, came on to blindside V or Blake. V was doing that. So I went into the call and that was what was going on. I thought like V had made like some, valid criticisms of, okay, maybe we should be looking where there is not a lot of evidence. I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do. I didn't tell V one way or the other. V said he would for sure have Evan's vote and Jaywin's vote. I like left that call. I talked to Evan briefly about it because I wanted to see what Evan thought. I genuinely did put sus on Evan, but we had a good talk. I felt like after that round table where Evan took a front seat, that showed faithful to me. So I don't know what the fuck happened with that. Like, I didn't feel like I felt like it was weird V trying to move in the shadows and try to, because V, I think you're a traitor. I'm not. V said you did make it seem you were generally down, and I hadn't even had a shot to talk to Evan before
But
you had.
can I make a quick comment though? This is a very similar plan to what Hutch had to blindside ZZ, and you were also a part of that plan also. Did you think Hutch was a traitor, or were you genuinely like wanting to go after that trio and thinking that there was a traitor hiding in that?
I did not think you or Hutch were a traitor in that moment. I thought it would be a good avenue to take because the evidence was there. But like I felt like that whole Blake thing didn't take legs because it was being woken up and now there's like some other kind of mess that's trying to spin and like try and see what else is going to stick.
Would you have do you see yourself going along with that plan if Evan didn't expose it in the chat to Blake?
I don't know. I genuinely do not know. I think there's little evidence to work on and I think it's nothing, which is something, but it's also nothing. So that's where I'm at.
Does anyone else want to speak? Because I feel like it's very much triangulating between me, Taya, and Cammy right now. But I also have stuff to say. But if other people have stuff to say, they can say stuff.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that we're capturing that correctly. So yes, I did confirm the whole Blake backstab thing in that call. And if we do want to look at that more specifically, then all three of us would be some kind of suspect, right? Like that's not a blindside is never an honest thing to do. And if you're in a conversation with about a blindside, you're already like not 100% hands clean. So I do take responsibility for my part of that. I did tell Blake, like I confirmed it with Evan and Cammy. That's how the conversations went. It is a shame that we didn't get. It's okay. It's a shame that we didn't get any kind of genuine reactions and everything. So I see the logic of what B was trying to do. But at the end of the day, it got blown up. It's not a viable plan. We keep it moving. So that's all I wanted to say with that. I didn't want to leave all that in the dust. Go, Evan.
Okay. My next thing, I mean, obviously it's towards Ty. I don't know, I just feel like you're saying like I'm not vocal at the round table, but at the end of the day, like the round table is just like 1 hour. Like technically the whole day beforehand is round table. And I feel like I've shown that I'm a vocal person, whether it's in the chat or in the call. So I almost feel like I feel like I've been pretty vocal to you directly. So I'm just confused why me being not so vocal at one round table is like such a big eye opener for you to like suss me out now.
I think I've said this before, but most trader games I've played, There are traitors who want to not be very vocal at the beginning and kind of hide and see how things kind of shape themselves before they start giving their opinions. And I think it's smart for traders to do that. I more specifically wanted to focus on the first couple of roundtables because I was looking for people who would be doing that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you were also not at the round table, so like you could say the
Yeah,
same thing about you. So I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
I was bartending at my job.
yeah. I mean, same thing, but um, I don't know. I'm
Can,
just go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, well, I was gonna switch topics, but if you want to finish, like, or continue on this, we can do that. But maybe
I
Blake
mean,
had
all
his
I
hand
really
up
have to
first.
say is just I just feel like I'm getting sussed with Cammy now, and it's like weird because it seems like Cammy's defending me, I'm defending Cammy, vice versa, after I just didn't defend Caroline, who then just came out as a faithful. It's like I was being shut on for that, and then now she just flipped faithful after quitting because people are putting heat on her, and I feel like at this point it's purposeful. And it's like, yeah, I'm defending people I feel like are faithful, and it's like Ty and Allie, no shade, but y'all have been up each other's cooters this past game, so I'm like, you guys are defending each other just as well. So I'm like, do you guys not suss each other? Like, I feel like it's been
Yeah,
so before,
I've
so like,
I've
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 sussed Ty.
I've sussed Allie multiple times throughout this game.
I
And
don't know, I just feel
what
like
was your
it's
reasonings behind it? For both of you, Ty, can you go first? Why you sussed Allie in this game?
I've sussed Allie because of her proximity to Esme, ZZ, and Evan. When the whole Hutch plan was because we thought one of those people had to be a traitor. Otherwise, why are they all here? So
And
I was sussing Allie in that moment. Me and Hutch discussed if ZZ flipped faithful, that we need to look at Esme. If ZZ flipped traitor, then we were definitely going to be looking at Allie because Allie was supporting ZZ like the whole time. So like that whole situation right there, I was ready to pull the trigger on Allie. There's been multiple times too where I'm looking at Allie sideways just because of how she's moving in the game. Like doesn't seem scared ever, but I kind of play that up for the armory visits. Um, I just kind of go back and forth with Allie. But what makes me trust Allie is that we share everything we hear. We've told each other about our armory visits and what we've gotten, and we're both still alive.
I appreciate your answer. I was gonna ask Allie, but Blake has had his hand up for a while, so I'm sorry, Blake. You can go.
Yeah, Ty, I would just like to add in that, like, I think the thing that I've noticed with you is that you were so against Allie for like one round, and then all of a sudden it was just a switch. Like nothing really prompted, it just switched. And then after you switched, all of a sudden you were 100% on board with taking out Caroline, and Caroline was so sus, and you were like backing Allie up till the cows come home. And I think that's the thing that, because I said
Can
last,
I
yeah, 1 second, I'm not finished. I think last time, like I said at the last round table, I am somebody who watches patterns. And when you switched up and then you went from being so sure on Allie to switching up and then teaming up with Allie to being so sure on Caroline, when you just said the round before that you thought Caroline was a faithful, that was odd to me.
So the reason why was because, like I said, if ZZ flipped Faithful, I was going for Esme next. Esme got murdered next. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm on the whole fucking wrong path. I think I need to be listening to Allie more. I think Allie's right. Caroline was one of my original sus people, and I think I need to like kind of start listening to Allie more instead of going on my own path because Hutch led me down a very wrong path. And I feel like I'm allowed to change like my opinion on people as the game goes. I mean,
You are
I'm changing my opinions based on who is killed, who is banished, information from challenges. Like we all should be changing our thought patterns and not just laser focused on someone until they leave, like how Evan was with Danny or whatever the fuck. Like you have to like receive information and be willing to take that information in and change who you think is sus.
And
I
I
don't
agree.
think that makes me I don't think that makes me like weird for doing that. Like I'm literally explaining like why I've changed my thought patterns. And I've said this already before too.
Can I cut in? Can it be my turn? Sorry, because Evan's in the chat like, Allie, if you get a chance, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get one. I've been sus on Ty a couple of times. Like back in round 1, I was sus on him because I thought he was moving weird. Round 2, which round did ZZ go home? 3?
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
they went Marissa, Mike, Zizi, I believe, in the banishments. So yeah,
Okay, so then ZZ would be round 4.
3.
3. I'm confusion.
I think I'm almost pretty sure, but maybe I'm
Whatever
wrong. But
round ZZ went home was my biggest Ty sus round. I was talking to Hutch a lot, which seems like a common denominator, but I thought Hutch was sus as fuck. And I thought that Ty was super close to Hutch. So I was like, well, maybe they're going together. And then Hutch, before he was poisoned, went, I guess, to Ty, or Ty went to him, and they were talking about how I called him a traitor angel. I called Hutch a traitor angel because I thought Hutch was traitor angeling me. Because I thought he was cute and I told him he was cute. Anyway.
Wait, well, we thought he was traitor angeling both of us.
Well, yes, but you went and told him. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, why the fuck would Ty tell him that? So then I got nervous. And then I didn't trust Ty again. And my thing with Ty is I go back and forth because I know how he plays, and he's typically like this, very sporadic, very all over the place, very like whatever gets him ahead. But in this game specifically, like he can't get ahead unless we get a traitor. So I'm like, I feel like where I was on the wrong path with Caroline and Ty just hasn't been on the right path at all, that we should collab. So this round specifically, it's very like, and last round too. I just kind of like interlocked with him because if he's a traitor, then I'm blinded. But no, I'm not afraid. I go to the armory every round, every chance I get, and I have an arsenal. So like these traitors can try to come for me, but like, nah, you're not gonna get me. You can't get me right now. So no, I'm not afraid.
Yeah, we know.
Try to kill me, please.
that to me comes off, and maybe this is just me, as like you trying to protect yourself as you are, but because you're a traitor and don't want us to banish you. Just my opinion, but
Banish me.
I
It won't
mean,
happen.
we can't if you have the advantages,
Boom.
But that's
Do it though you will. If you
if
think
you
I'm a traitor because I keep going to the armory and getting
no,
stuff,
if you're a traitor
so
and you
be
have the
it.
advantages, I think you
But
do. We lost.
if I'm a traitor, why am I going to the armory like that? Why am I going every round? I couldn't have been recruited.
Because
Nobody
there's
left.
things that can stop you from banishment. Is
Well,
also
there are now that I didn't know about them, but I got a blue shell, baby. And if you're gonna banish me, no, you're not. Not today. Try again. And I'm drunk. I am drunk. And if I'm telling you right now, all the shit I have, so be it. But I'm not
Allie, are you
afraid.
still going with your word on what you said that you wouldn't use your blue shell if Ty gets banished tonight?
Mm-hmm. If Ty has the votes to go, I'm not using it.
I think I've put forth a good argument. I don't know what kind of argument you have against me, Evan. I haven't heard it.
Can I go in here? Because that makes no sense to me.
It
You're
was
not going to
just
use
a
it on Ty.
question.
If you believe Ty is faithful, like you say, Ty, you think Ty's faithful. Why
I think
wouldn't you
I
use it
need
on
it.
him?
I think I need it next round. Why would I use it on him if I need it for me?
Because the faithfuls need as many other faithfuls, and if you're adamant that
Okay,
Ty's
then I'll
faithful,
use it.
I mean, you can do what you want, and you will do what you want, as you should. But I'm just pointing that out. That I was like, it's a little weird to me.
Well, I talked to Evan earlier, and I feel like Evan and I had a good conversation. I don't know. I don't feel like I need to put me and Evan on blast here,
No,
but
but if you're faithful, you should want the other faithfuls and be like, if you think Ty's a faithful, you should want
yeah, but
him
if
here.
all the other faithfuls are voting to get rid of Ty, why if it's fucking unanimous except Ty votes for, let's say, you, just for example, right?
Mhm.
Why would I use the blue shell and save him if everybody else thought? Do you see what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. All that does is make me look like an asshole and looks like I'm trying to save somebody because I know something.
But
That's
it
not
just,
fair.
to me, it comes off as a little like self-preservative, because if you believe Ty is a faithful, you got to stand 10 toes down on that and save him.
I do think he's a faithful, but again, if everybody except Ty votes for Ty to go, why would I use that? Because you know who that hurts? Me.
It's
I
gonna
want
be
to play.
it's gonna be all the traitors voting out of faithful plus like one or two other faithful. Well, that's enough. We're like at that point in the game.
That's the thing. I want to talk about the clickiness that I saw today, if I may bring it up, because in my opinion,
Yes, you may.
Ty, Allie, Jaywin, and V all like were only asking each other, in my opinion, for the most part, for calls. And to me, that gives that three of y'all potentially.
V asked me for a call and you jumped in the call and V told you to leave. I did not ask you to leave the call and you could have stayed on the call.
We can bring up that. It's like, why do you
Brian, I was literally telling V last round that I don't like him.
Here's the thing. I think three of y'all could be traitors and bring in one person that you might say, Allie or Ty, one of you ain't a traitor, but the other is, and y'all trust each other. You might be like, I'm gonna bring the other one in to my three traitors to rule the day with the votes.
I think what happened is I told V what I saw last night and what I saw overnight, like rewatching the roundtable, and I think V started agreeing with me on what we were saying.
And V, to your message there, I said no need because, and maybe that's me. I was trying to be like, no need, because like I thought you and Allie were sus for that, because in my experience, the conversation shifted real quick as soon as I got there and like, Brian, give us a few minutes. And I'm like,
I didn't ask you to leave and I didn't care if you were there. I even said that to V on the call when you hung up. Like, I want it known. Brian, you can talk to me whenever you want.
I literally
give no fucks.
I was asking anyone who wanted to talk when I got off work, and no one said anything.
Goodbye.
Except Allie.
Go.
And then I started adding people I wanted to talk to.
Like, Brian, not for anything. Like, you could have asked me for a call too.
It's a fair point, yeah. But I would say after you and V after that call, because
but I didn't do it. Let's make note that I did not ask you to leave. Make a note.
Brian, I'll quickly jump in there because I finally got to his room. The reason that I asked you to leave, I was literally fine with you joining 5 seconds later, is because I was just really unsure of everything going on. I know Ty trusts Allie and Allie trusts Ty. I first wanted to see, without anyone else around, what Allie's perception was of the call that was before, and I didn't want an influence from anyone else. And I then wanted to see if they agreed with Ty without influence of anyone else. And then when you said, oh, no need to explain anything, I was like, well, okay, if you don't feel the need to know this, I'm then going to take that as, okay, you don't want to know this or you don't need this information. So I understand how it looks. Like, I knew immediately that's why. And that's why I said, like, I'll explain it in a second. But when you literally say, oh, no need to tell me this, then you cannot be mad that I didn't tell you this.
No, I get it. I get how that
Evan
came
and
across.
Jaywin have their hand up. FYI,
I meant like a mean no need.
And so does Cammy. She doesn't know how to use her hand. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we want to. I don't know who had their hand first, but like I don't want to take up all the time. But I guess I don't want to pick who had a hand up first. Did anyone see?
We still have like 25 minutes. Jaywin, go ahead though if you want to speak.
Thank you. I just want to clear up. I asked Brian. I asked you to talk. I asked Blake to talk. And you asked Cammy to talk to today. Asked V to talk, and then I got in a call with Ty and Alan.
And I wasn't trying to say people didn't ask me for calls myself, but I was just felt that y'all had the most calls individually with each other. I didn't do the math or like keep stats or anything, but that's just how it felt to me. But that's my main point on that.
I'll be first to admit I like V, so I'm gonna talk to V a lot. My bad, but I like y'all too. So
no, the main reason I wanted to have that quick call in the end with Jaywin as well is because like I saw everyone going on call as well. And like, I'll be honest, I think everyone knows I trust Jaywin. I don't believe they are a traitor. So I feel more comfortable asking someone that I trust in this game to be like, hey, is anything crazy going on? Have you heard anything going on? Than someone that I trust less. And because I did also agree, like there were a lot of calls going on all at once, and because I've been with my friend, like I'm in his room right now, it's been really like tough trying to, talk to people, and I was able to do it really last second. It doesn't help that I got locked out of his house, so I was stuck outside for a bit. But I'm inside now, so yay. But no, like I understand why there is sus on me, but look at the whole season. And yeah, I do sound more American. It's because I'm with American people. My accent code switches. I hate it. But no, like if you look at the whole season, to me, I don't understand how you can then think I'm a traitor compared to what's now. Because like I have been actively traitor hunting since day one. I went through the whole first safety chain challenge doing that. I went over it with everyone, questions everyone's decisions from the first moment to the end. When I came to the trader task, supposedly working for the challenge, that's not the case. It only works for the faithful challenge. And then I stuck to my gut when I said I'm taking a step back, and I did. But it's not because I take a step back that I'm not listening, I'm not watching, I'm not looking at things. And that's where kind of my sus for Cammy and for Blake goes. And so when I made that plan, I've already explained to some other people. To me, it was a test because I trust Evan. I don't believe Evan is a traitor. I trust Jaywin. I'm now needing to try and figure out some sort of fourth vote that I can trust or believe in if I want this plan that I have to go through. I wanted to talk to Cammy. I was suspicious of Cammy. I brought that up during, right before that I talked to Cammy. And I wanted to see what happens if I pull them in here. And it basically immediately blew up. And that also reveals a lot to me because I don't understand how all of a sudden you forget where your sus is at and how like Evan and Cammy are now randomly like pairing up with each other. But I feel like that doesn't make sense. And my whole idea with this was seeing reactions, getting information. I get how it looks. Yes, it is a blindside, it is a sneaky plan. But these traders have been playing fucking Survivor. So if us faithful don't start doing that, they're gonna keep running circles around us. So we need to start taking a different strategy because this is the last fucking round that we can risk doing anything of this sort. Because if there are 4 traders, next round they have majority. And at that point we lost the game. And even if there's
May I
only
ask
3
for
traders and they have an extra vote, we have lost the game.
why did you feel the need to bring it up at the round table and blindside that way, other than like bring on another call with multiple people? You could have brought it up
Because
potentially.
even if, like, straight up, I wanted to see if the traders jumped on it. If the traders jumped on the Blake vote, I would know Blake isn't a traitor. If everyone all of a sudden started defending Blake, then it would have looked differently because I would look at who is defending Blake. It gives us a lot of information with how people react to suspicions. And I would have straight up, if people were going to jump Blake after my accusation, I would have said I'm not voting Blake because that immediately shows that traders are jumping on it.
But you already had to have got reaction from when you talked to
Well,
Jaywin and Allie about Blake already, and you didn't get a reaction then because you did do
No,
that
I only
before.
talked to Jaywin. I talked to Evan. Well, I was going to talk to Evan, but Cammy did before me, and I
I
talked to
told you
Cammy
I
about it.
would.
They were the
I
only people that I was going to bring up in this.
I mean, I would argue that the Traitors saved Blake before he could even get to that roundtable by letting him know that you were coming for him, V.
Exactly. And that's why I don't believe Blake is a traitor as much. I still have my suspicions because I think such a clean game is weird. But I do believe it generally is just setting up me versus Blake in the same way it was Hutch versus Ty, because the traders also know what situation they're in. They just need one more faithful banished, and they have effectively won the game.
I believe maybe Cammy had their hand up next, or not trying to run this, but like, or anyone else. People have had their hands up though.
Well, I did want to ask you, V, for instance, like I was not gonna be the one to like wake all that up. You said you trusted Jaywin and Evan first, and I told you before I left that call, okay, well, you said you had stuff to do, and I said I would talk to Evan about it. So I don't know why it's like, oh, well, you did this before I could even. I told you before I left the call, I was going to go talk to Evan about it. And
No,
I just
you didn't
find it.
directly say that you were going to talk to, like, about that plan. You just said, oh, I'm going to go talk to Evan.
Well,
So that's
obviously,
why.
when you're sitting here telling me that, oh, I for sure have Evan's vote and I for sure have Jaywin's vote, like, obviously, I'm going to go talk to Evan about it.
But yeah, but that's still, like, because I directly told you, oh, I'm going to talk to Evan about this.
Oh.
Like, I wanted to do that first.
Why? What I'm curious about is if there was so much trust with these people involved in this, why did you felt you had trust with Evan? Evan, why did you feel like blowing up that plan to Blake?
Because I didn't, quite frankly, trust V like that. I mean, one person can reciprocate it, and I said that on call, and we talked about it, and I was just like, I don't particularly trust V, but I'm here to have an open and direct conversation about it with all the people that were here. And it's no shade against V. Like, V is allowed to trust me, and I'm not allowed to entirely trust V back.
Yeah.
Like, valid. So that's why I did that.
Before we move on, I also wanted to touch on that you said that I was a yes ma'am when I was in that call. I personally think you're a traitor. I've had you on my sus list for a while. I'm not going to give you information.
I understand that, but at the same time, when you are effectively yes-manning me on any stuff that I have, you also have to see how that comes over. Because if you are a faithful and you think I'm a traitor, but I am a faithful, like, if both of us are faithful and you're then yes-manning any ideas and Blake ends up a faithful, at that point we have fucked up.
I have a question. We're talking a lot about duos and who we can trust with information. Is there anyone here who feels like Cammy does openly share information with them instead of kind of information with E where she doesn't trust them? Brian?
Wait, I didn't hear that last part. I heard the part where Cammy openly shares information, but the last part maybe
about, sharing information with someone you trust in order to find a traitor, and Cammy says she doesn't do that with V. So I'm curious if she does that with anyone.
I don't know if you want this out there, Cammy, or free game, but at this point, faithfuls need to be truthful. So that's truthful.
Wake it up. We do.
Cammy and I trust Utah. That's why me, you, and Hutch, before he was poisoned, like y'all were the four, and like Caroline was trying to trust. I'm less trusting of Utah, to be frank, right now. I'm not saying you're necessarily a traitor, but there are little things that I'm like maybe. But to answer the question, Cammy does share info with me, and I do trust her. Probably not clearing, not 100%, but the most out of everyone here. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just my thoughts.
Anyone else feel like Cammy is like sharing their thoughts on who the traitors are? Any information coming from her? Okay.
And now can people do the same thing for me?
I shared with you, Evan, earlier too. I
share with V often.
I do the same thing with Ali, do the same thing with Ty, do the same thing with Evan. Like, there's a clear difference there between who is willing to share information that they find and who doesn't.
If I may pivot, people had their hand up. I'm not going to pivot. Just go ahead.
Then I think Blake, you have had it longer than Evan at this point. I don't know. I wasn't fully looking, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring up, and I'm keeping an open mind for the vote. I just want to put that out there. But one thing that I just can't get over is you creating this endgame Fire of Truth alliance when I obviously know that I'm a faithful. So that feels very much like you're just trying to push me out so you can get closer to the end. And if I'm a faithful, if you're also a faithful, that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, explain the idea behind it. Take, for example, it's me, Jaywin, and Evan, and a fourth person. I trust Evan. I trust Jaywin. I really don't trust anyone else fully that they're not a traitor. So I will only feel comfortable with those two people at the end next to me. And if that's not for them, that's different. But I never told Evan, oh, we need to stick this, oh, this is in line, yada yada yada. I just told Evan straight up, I think us three, we've played very strong faithful games. I really trust you. If like I want us sitting at the end. But that doesn't mean that we have to be this ride or die alliance. I didn't even bring that up to Jaywin actively because there was a call last round. It was me, Evan, Jaywin, Connor, and who else was there? But like all of us were kind of agreeing that we felt like true faithfuls in the game, and that was just and I think it was Hutch. I think it was us five before Hutch was poisoned. All of us were basically agreeing like we believe we are truly faithfuls in this. I mean, we were going over everything, and that's kind of where the tie suspicions came from. And Hutch is gone. Connor, I do still believe is faithful, but I do understand the question marks slowly surrounding him. So to me, that really leaves Evan and Jaywin, I believe, truly are faithful. So I'm not going to want to sit next to someone like, for example, Cammy, who I'm suspicious of, or even Ty, who I have, still a couple questions marks with. Even if we do both believe I know that we are faithful, there are still those question marks. And at Fire of Truth, when there are not reveals anymore of your role, you need to be 100% sure, or at least as close to 100% sure to who you're sitting next to. And I believe right now I can only do that with someone like Evan or Jaywin.
I appreciate you for explaining that. It gives me a little bit more insight into your reasoning. So thank you.
Evan, please talk before your hand falls off of your body.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was up. I really, but I'll talk. You don't gotta tell me twice. I don't know. I'm just gonna vocalize my thoughts. I would say I'm my top two. Obviously, I said this in the chat earlier. No one sent their sus list. Thank you. Besides Ty, thank you. Is between Ty and Allie. I don't know. The defending is just weird to me, and like it brings me up to my next point. I feel like, does anyone feel like they are in a place of like clearing anyone? Like, I feel like I
do.
Would you like to share like with who, Ty, if you don't mind?
I don't think I'm in a place to like 100% clear, but there's people that like kind of like V was saying, I trust sharing information with, and there's people that I don't fully share what I'm thinking with.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little dangerous to throw those names out, especially we don't know what's going to happen here, and we're going into a murder, and I don't want to lose those people, but there are those people.
Yeah, I only did because everyone already knows that the whole three thing was me and Evan and Jaywin, so I don't care saying because everyone already knows.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just feel like this whole out of like everyone left in this game, like I feel like based off of the murders, I feel like there's nothing really to grasp at. Like we talked about this last night, I think. Like the Aston murder made no sense because Aston would have been a perfect person to bring to the end with. But like my mind just automatically goes back to the J kill. And for me, the two people that I feel like would do that are Ty and Allie. And I know they say they wouldn't do it. I know they said they would do it. And
Evan, I've never said I wouldn't kill Jay if I was in that.
no, I'm saying I know
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't know heartbeat.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's two sides of the coins, and it's like for everyone that's left, I feel like I don't know. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to me. And honestly, it could be a reach, and it could just be me or over analyzing it. But I feel like out of everything, that first kill really gave a lot of information.
I agree with you. It does make sense, but the way Jay was moving in this game, I think anyone who's in that fucking turret should have killed Jay round one.
1,000%. If Jay was still here at this point, we would have caught Traitors. Like he was running that like the fucking militia. Like he would have not let any stupid shit happen.
Militia is so European. We say army babes. This is
I want
America.
to sound cool, okay? I'm already sounding more and more American. Let me lose some Europeanness.
Like the goddamn Navy. That's I am actually kind of confused and I'm begging for consistency, but I'm also begging for us not to fuck this up. So, is there anything else that anyone can bring to the table that's not a tick for tack petty type of thing? And I'm not saying anyone was petty or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we need direction right now, and I'm kind of lost on the direction of
I mean,
what.
what are you specifically like directly unsure about? Like, is there a way we like? Because just saying anything else
I'm just
is not the easiest.
I have something to say. I think I'm onto something with Cammy. I think this roundtable was telling with Cammy. I feel like Cammy is giving nervousness. I also think it's odd that Cammy just blatantly stated that she doesn't share information with V because she thinks he's a traitor. But when I ask if she shares information with anyone, Brian's the only one who speaks up. And I find it hard to believe.
Connor's not here too.
Okay, well, I find it hard to believe that you're only giving info to Brian and Connor.
I also give info to Evan as well.
Yeah, sorry, I was answering a work message. Sorry, Cammy does give info to me.
I
Okay.
do, because ever since that round table where Evan took a big stand, like me and him had a great talk, and I do feel like I trust him. Like, and you said it as well. Like, obviously, I don't tell what I am thinking to everybody else, and I feel like that is smart.
Which roundtable are you referring to where you took a big stand?
The one after ZZ left with Danny.
That's
And he was wrong, but like, I feel like a traitor wouldn't do that. And
so that big stand he took to get Danny out, who like pretty much everyone was cool with leaving. That's what made you decide to like share more info with Evan.
yeah, because I don't feel like a traitor would have done that. I don't feel like a traitor would have put themselves on the line like that and be wrong.
And it was
But
like
me running a challenge basically and effectively running 2 roundtables is making you suspicious of me.
I don't think he took a big stand when everyone was willing to throw Danny out the fucking.
I'll push back on that because Evan had voted Danny every time up to then, and I reckon maybe Evan was feeling frustrated and had to bring everything and make sure everyone listens to them because Evan felt very confident. It was wrong, but confident, and I'm saying that this could be the case that Evan was confident that they weren't being listened to. You know.
Yeah, but I think at some point almost everyone here had sus on Danny. I don't think that's some huge stand as Cammy painting it.
Okay, go off, girl. I genuinely, that's how I feel. I felt like a traitor wouldn't put themselves in a very first stop position. And I was completely sus of Evan. And I have thrown sus on Evan before, so.
I mean, I will repeat it again. I've done that the first half of this game. Like I was actively the one up front the first half of this game.
There were also people saying that you were moving differently who knew you.
And other people who knew me were saying the opposite, like Hutch, Jalen, and Esme.
Evans felt like a desperation trying to get out a traitor. Yours felt like I'm going to take the reins on this and like tell people what to do.
Well, let's not forget that going into that roundtable, we were kind of talking about voting for Brian, and it would have been Brian if Evan didn't move it to Danny.
Yep.
But if Evan's a traitor, he has no reason to move to Danny because he knows
he was pretty adamant that he wanted it to be Danny at the roundtable.
I know, I watched it, but like, I don't feel he was adamant. I feel he was trying to bring his stuff to the
but
table.
I asked people if my logic was making sense, and they all agreed. And at the end of the day, everyone's vote is their own fucking vote, and they could have done whatever they wanted to do. And I allowed space for people to talk and give other opinions, but no one else had another opinion. So I'm not sitting here trying to navigate or make this narrative about Danny. What Danny did was sus, and I gave my reasonings why. I asked 3 fucking times. Does this make sense to everyone? I could very much be wrong, and everyone sat there and just agreed with me. So
it just seems odd that that is the moment when you and Cammy came together to start sharing information. That seems odd to me.
then it's fucking odd. I don't know what to tell you. And I feel like it's odd that Jaywin just sat there and said, I don't know where we're voting. And then you just said Cammy. But like,
I'm answering Jaywin's question.
Okay.
But Ty, I want to hold everybody to the same standard in this game because we're pairing Cammy and Evan together. I also feel like you and Allie had the same storyline. So I think that if we're going to hold people to, please don't interrupt me. I'm talking. I know you have a hard time with that sometimes.
We've addressed it.
Okay, babe. And other things got addressed too, but you've brought them up 7,000 times in the main chat. The day Hutch went home, that was very...
Because I'm answering Jaywin's question. She literally is like, is there anything else you guys have noticed? I brought up what I just noticed at this roundtable that I think is odd.
Okay, but I'm just saying also what I've seen as well. And you and Allie have had that same duo storyline that kind of switched up out of nowhere. So I just want to bring everything to the table so we have all the knowledge going into the vote.
I think it's odd the timing of Cammy and Evan suddenly coming together to share information after a unsuccessful banishment of Danny, who all of us had sus on.
Can I just say something real quickly? I just feel like it's weird that we're now playing Survivor and trying to rally votes, and I feel like it's weird that Ty's positioning this for it to be Cammy or I. It's clear that this game's turned into a game of Survivor. Ty's been on one-on-one calls with everybody pretty much today besides me, probably Cammy.
Evan,
yeah.
Let me finish. Please let me finish. Because I think Ty is a traitor at this point, or Allie is a traitor at this point. I think Jaywin, love you, girl, but I feel like Jaywin is being protected at this point, and even though Jaywin's told me many times she's not a traitor, she very much might be a traitor at this point. If we vote wrong here, well, you guys vote wrong. The faithfuls are gonna lose. At this point, I think Ty's the fucking traitor. Production, I have a bullet bill that I'll be using on myself tonight, so I will be excusing myself from the vote tonight. And I please urge you guys to see exactly what Ty's doing in this moment. He's trying to narrate and navigate and make sure everyone's voting on Cammy in this last moment.
Evan, if I was playing a game of Survivor...
Production, you guys hear that? I'm using my bullet bill.
Yep, you are all good to go.
Bye.
Evan is leaving. He cannot be voted for. He cannot vote.
He doesn't even want to listen to, like, my response to that. Like, what the fuck? I'm not playing a game of Survivor. Me and V did not get along this whole game. We never even had a conversation until this round. Is that playing Survivor? Me and Cammy have been cool this whole game. We were working together on the Hutch plan to get out ZZ, and now I think it's Cammy. Is that playing Survivor? I don't think it is.
I don't know. He just left the vote, so
that doesn't change anything in my mind. I wasn't thinking he was a traitor, but maybe it's just me.
That's crazy.
So the voting count's going to be 8. I know, Survivor, so I'm just saying.
Unless something else bullshitty happens, there's going to be 8 votes.
Yeah.
Think wisely.
I don't think he liked what was coming out of my mouth.
This is such a crucial vote. And
I didn't even read. Am I dumb? Because I didn't even read this conversation as a Cammy or Evan conversation, to be honest. I really didn't read it that way. Like
Jay, what are you thinking?
I didn't either.
What did you read it as?
I thought it was like a Cammy at most. Like it was definitely Cammy, but Cammy versus V or Cam. I didn't think it was Evan. I thought it was against like V or Ty. Like that's where the votes were going.
I was like Evan and I had a call right beforehand, and he was certain that like Ty was gonna spin it onto him, even though I mean from what my like perception it was being spun onto Cammy.
He told me that
And
too, that it
like
was being spun on both of us.
yeah, and from my perspective, I have like no one really has brought up Evan to me this round.
I think
So I didn't fully
That's
get
what I'm
where that
saying.
came from.
I think Evan.
I think he's
Well,
like me and V talking and people he hasn't seen talking and fucking got scared. But
It only makes a difference if you're planning on voting him. It's just like
maybe. Well, you can't vote him.
I said,
No
I
one
know
can
now,
vote
but
him,
like
and he can't vote either.
All right, guys, it is now 9:02. Go to your prod chats and vote. You can talk on here, just do not talk about the game or voting.
shout out to the VL.
Shout out to Sanam and Coach. I know a lot of production does things, but I love them double as much. Because I, Bodo 4 and 5 represent. Woohoo!
All right, guys, I have your votes. I will go through them. We'll start with Connor, who is not here. Connor voted for Cammy. Next we have is Allie. Allie voted for Cammy. Allie.
Um, I voted for Cammy just because of the evidence. And Cammy, if you're faithful, I'm sorry, but I just had to do what was best.
Next we have is Brian. Brian voted for Ty. Brian.
It seemed to me like you were one of the people that were after Z or when I first saw ZZ that ZZ was you were trying to bandwagon on that, and I thought it was because you were helping me, but potentially it's because you were trying to bandwagon as a traitor, and also your storyline with Allie going back and forth sussing each other is like just to me trying to put a little sus on each other so you have sus. You even said that you have played that way before, but that's my vote.
All right, next we have is V. V voted for Cammy. V.
Yeah, I mean, the suspicion that I had, like, it was, decided together with Ty from our conversation. I had some suspicions on you the whole game, but I didn't really want to outwardly say that because I was also worried you could just get me murdered. Because I think all of us have had very incorrect susses, and I feel like those who have had correct susses likely got snuffed before they could really outwardly say it in the first place. And I like this is truly at this point, I guess, a shot in the dark because we do not have a lot of information out there. And I hope to God it lands because if not, then we lost.
All right, next we have is Ty. Ty voted for Cammy. Ty.
Cammy, this is the first time I've ever this is the strongest I've felt that we might be on the right path to getting a traitor. If it's not you, I hope I get killed because I'm fucking done with this game if it's not you.
Next we have is Cammy. Cammy voted for Ty. Cammy.
Sorry, Ty. This is not tit for tat. I felt like the Hutch situation was weird. I felt like just moving weird with Allie, and everybody else. I am sorry, but that is how I feel. This is not tit for tat. I genuinely think you're a traitor.
All right, next we have is Blake, and Blake voted for Cammy. Blake.
I came in here with an open mind, and I did see that I think this could have been a ploy to set V and I up against each other, and so I went with my gut. I'm sorry, Kimmy.
And next lastly we have is Jaywin, and Jaywin voted for Cammy. Jaywin.
if I am wrong, and I'm so sorry. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I still love your hair, and I think that you're fucking gorgeous and a wonderful, amazing human being, and loved getting to know you in this game. I can't ignore what was put in front of me.
All right, and with that, and a 6-2 vote, Cammy, you have been banished. You have a moment to say your goodbyes and reveal your row.
Okay, well, I want to start off and say this cast has been really fun. I've enjoyed getting to know every single one of you. This has been a crazy ass wild whirlwind of a fucking game. I'm afraid you have more work to do because I'm a traitor. And you better fucking win, I guess, faithful. So
Love
you
you,
got me,
Cammy.
gals. You got me, gals.
You're amazing. Oh my God, Cammy, I love you.
Let's fucking
yes.
go!
Congrats
Okay, so
on being
then-
your
so
first
then
traitor, guys.
It's
What?
feeling like Evan and Brian are up next.
Also, I just want to say that Cammy is my best friend and my neighbor.
I love Cammy.
For anybody that does not know that, I just want to say that. But anyway, that is it for tonight. You have lights out at 9:15. So